Oh my God. I've read a lot of romance novels, and that had to be the kiss of all kisses. It was so close to perfect. My body was still tingling all over. Here we were, two lonely souls out in the middle of Lake Mendota in a tiny boat. At first I was worried that moving might make us capsize, but as soon as his lips touched mine, I completely forgot where I was. Jason tasted a little sweet with a hint of lime from his margarita seltzer, and he took his time, slowly deepening the kiss, giving our mouths time to explore. Where does a dude learn to kiss like that? I practically had an orgasm, and he didn't even touch my boobs. Then, boom, as if to celebrate our kiss, the fireworks started. I nestled into him while we watched the show. Out there on the lake, far away from the other boats, it was as if we were having our own private fanfare. The brilliant lights flashed above in a myriad of colors that defied gravity before raining down. I reached up to catch a falling cinder, but it vanished prior to hitting my palm. Just when I thought the display couldn't get better, another cyclone of color burst above, more fantastic than the last, building to the end where the cannons boomed over and over again, filling the sky with a multitude of sparkling light. Throughout the show, Jason held me close, as I marveled, using him as my backrest until all that was left were the vestiges of smoke against the darkness. In the distance, the shouts of partiers carried across the lake. "That was amazing," he whispered in my ear. I was still floating, and it had nothing to do with the kayak. I think it was the best fireworks display I've ever seen. Me too. Was it even better than being on your parents' yacht? Unbelievably better, because... He drew in a deep breath. "Because you here," he said, missing the word R, a sign not everything was back to normal with his brain yet. But healing took time, no matter what. Warmth spread through me as I turned and kissed him again, our mouths hungrier this time. Searching, entangling, craving. I tried to roll over, but the boat tottered, making me jolt and grab the sides. "Care for a swim?" he asked, laughing. "I don't suppose you packed towels in your duffel?" Jason snapped his fingers. "I always forget something." I slid up to my seat, straightened the backrest, and reached for my oar. I guess we ought to head back. We rowed to the boat launch at an easy pace. I thought it'd be impossible to squeeze the boat back into the duffel, but Jason unscrewed a few valves, and after rolling it tightly to wring out the last of the air, the kayak slid right in. We held hands as we walked up the hill to my place, but I didn't say much. I was too worried about what I should do once we got to the apartment. I mean, I really, really wanted to see Jason naked, but I've had sex with 3 different guys since I started college, and it never ended well. I was always too eager to slide between the sheets and do the deed. Then once it was over, it never felt right. I didn't want to end up cold and empty with Jason. Not that I thought he was going to go for the slam dunk, but what if things got super hot and it was all over too fast? What if he never wanted to see me again? Should I even ask him to come up? What if he said yes? What does a nerdy girl do with a football star in her apartment? Ask him to watch one of my sappy romantic movies? He'd bolt for sure. It would be totally unoriginal if I threw myself at him as if I were some sort of hottie. A guy like Jason would expect that, wouldn't he? After all, before his accident, he had a reputation for being the most likely to get laid in any given situation. I swear. I figure he was probably hanging out with me because he needed a break from being a stud. He probably didn't even like me all that much. I mean, a hot kiss to me might be standard procedure for Jason Allen. By the time we were about 2 blocks away, I'd decided that if he did come upstairs, we probably shouldn't have sex. After all, this wasn't a real date. Not that dates were a thing with college kids these days. We hung out. We did casual. Still, it would be rude of me not to invite him up, right? And I did tidy up. And I do have a couple of beers at the back of the fridge. The ones I've had since Christmas. That's the only time of year I drink myself into a stupor.